Capricorn, welcome to my reading. This is going to be your July 2025 reading for Sun, Moon and Rising. Double check, yeah. I've got a slightly different setup this month because last month I wasn't able to release the readings for June. I do apologize. I had a crazy week of the technology and it was actually the week where we had quite a lot of solar storms. So maybe that was impacting Mercury and technology and all of that. Okay, so apologies for that. Anyway, we're going to be looking at the month of July for you, Capricorn. So we're going to use a Moonology deck just to get a theme that you'll be exploring the month of July. So let us see, Capricorn, what's going on? Okay. July. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn, which is your sign. Okay, so what you've been working on for a long time, it's like it's got the energy of the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior. It is going to come to an end. Okay, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's awesome. So let's go straight into tarot. Now I'm using my deck. Finally, it's all arrived, but it's with me in Spain, and I need to take it back with me to the UK in a couple of weeks so I can send it to the warehouse. Now, if you're interested in a deck, do let me know. Send me an email. It comes in a cute little golden box over there, and there you have it. So if you want a deck, let me know, and I'll be sure to email you when it's live on my online shop. Okay, it's £20. Okay, let's have a look. Capricorn. We're going to look at where you're at the moment as you start the month, what your desire is, what's working in your favor, potential challenge, and likely outcome, and then a message from Spirit. Okay. Okay, you're definitely torn. You've got a decision that you need to make. You feel like you need to make it, but you're like, I want to make a move. I don't know. I don't want to keep waiting. I need to make a move, but I don't really know what to do. Okay, we're going to clarify it in a moment. Let me just show you quickly. Where you are at the moment is the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, you're looking at what you've invested into, where you've sown your seeds. Is it worth it? You've been evaluating the energy that you put into things. Now, this could be anything relating to your finances, your materialistic assets, your property, because there's pentacle energy, but it could also be work related, because when you do the work, you get the financial recompense for it. Okay. Your desire is to know what decision to make. You're torn. You've got the Two of Swords, okay, and everything seems like a maze. It's almost like a bit of a stalemate situation. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. But if you don't make a decision, the universe can recognize that as a decision, right? So we're going to clarify and see how this is playing out for you in a moment. What's working in your favor this month, and I know you just want to kind of get going and make a decision and see the results of your effort, but actually what's working is hanging back, okay? We got the Hangman. This is in the positive position. The Hangman is a beautiful energy because it suspends himself from a different angle so he can see from multiple perspectives. Now, I've depicted this, because this is my artwork, as a trapeze artist, because it's swinging and eventually it kind of goes into balance, and it can feel very kind of uncomfortable, but you see the world upside down. Traditionally, this card would be depicted as a man suspending himself upside down from the tree of knowledge. Okay, so ultimately what's working in your favor is to take your time, observe, and wait for the illumination to come in. Trouble is, the challenge is kind of holding back, right? So you kind of want to make a decision because the Two of Swords is there, but you feel like you don't want to be stuck. Now, this is an energy, I've depicted this one, the Four of Pentacles, as a man who's on a magic carpet, and normally a magic carpet should be, flying, and he should be having loads of adventures. But he's weighing himself down with his pentacles, with what he earns, right? with what he owns, and he's weighing it down and he's having a little snooze, okay? Meaning that he is keeping his cards close to his chest. When it comes up in the position of the challenge, it's basically saying that you want to get going, but you feel a little bit like you need to hold horses, okay? So even though the waiting and observing is very, very positive for you, it may be challenging to kind of stand your ground, look after your pentacles, see what you've got and gather what you've got and just hold your horses a bit, okay? For others of you, it could also be challenging to be looking at your sense of security in your finances. Now, this is only the second reading I'm doing for July, but so far I did Taurus first, and there was definitely something about July, which I think when I finish these readings will be a collective energy, the global world stage, a lot of turmoil, maybe to do with financial situations where things don't feel stable anymore, outages, all of that jazz. We've also have loads of kind of solar storms at the moment. So we're in the time of it, okay? And it could make you feel a little bit like, okay, but what do I own? You're looking at both of those aspects. What do I own? Both of them are pentacles. What do I own? Where am I putting it? How can I keep it? How can I invest into the future? You're looking at the long term, but it feels like there's a decision that needs to take place. The outcome is a Page of Swords. So you do get some good news that comes on in by the end of the month, okay? Pages are messengers, swords, energies, information, technology, okay? And the mental body. So it seems like you will get some news. I'm feeling like it's good news, but we haven't clarified. So let's see how that pans out for you. We're going to clarify each of these cards now with the mini Rider-Waite deck. Okay. Because it really is a month. It feels tough, but don't worry. You know, the Moonology card said the end of a tough cycle is approaching. But you really are kind of concerned. Your focus is on your sense of security and money, I would say. When I say money, I speak of like dense or materialistic items, okay? Right. Under the Seven of Pentacles, we've got the Four of Cups, Two of Swords, we've got the Eight of Swords, Hangman, we have the Queen of Swords, Four of Pentacles, we have the Devil, and the Page of Swords, we have the Two of Cups. Okay, so that good news at the end was good, right? Seven of Pentacles is clarified by the Four of Cups. Okay. You are, when I said you start the month off kind of evaluating the things that you invest into and what you get out of it, okay? This seems more financial, but a secondary energy of that would be the work that you do, okay? Now, there is something that's coming on in, an offer that's coming on in from the universe with that Four of Cups over there, okay? But he's like, you know what? No, I'm tired. I don't know if I'm willing to take something new, take on another responsibility, even if I think it's going to be emotionally fulfilling or kind of financially lucrative. I'm not so sure because, you know what, I'm tired. I've been through a bit of a tough cycle, and I don't know if I can take that on right now. Okay, so the choice is really yours. So it feels to me the start of the month you get a little offer that comes on, and it is given to you by the universe. So you know, trust it. But you may be weighing things up and kind of going, I don't know, maybe I just need some time, just some peace with me, and not to take on something new when I haven't actually completed something else yet. All right. Now, but you're kind of damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? Because you kind of want to do it, but you're like, you never know what the end result is. You never know whether people are going to take advantage of you, and then you're going to plow more into the fields, and nothing's going to grow, right? The Two of Swords is clarified by the Eight of Swords. Okay, so you really are struggling to make that decision, and you feel a little bit trapped in the mind about it. Now, the Eight of Swords can sometimes, not always, but sometimes be a self-sabotaging energy where you feel like things can only go one way. Now, if you look at this, both of these cards have a very kind of constrictive energy to it, okay? On the one side, he can only go in, you know, one direction, massive wars. And the other side, she's kind of tied up. Both of them are swords energy. Both of them talk about the mental body, okay? The thing is, the Two of Swords is a maze. You're never going to have one versus another option, right? It can go in multiple ways. And the Eight of Swords, she's blindfolded, so she cannot actually see clearly what's ahead of her, right? And typically speaking, like traditionally speaking, the rope around her is actually quite loose, and she can use one of the swords to, you know, cut herself loose and see where she's at. So you're stuck in the head a little bit with the decision that needs to take place. It could be about this offer that comes in, but you're like, nah, I don't know, right? Now, what's actually working your favor? I think that if you are stuck in decision, the month of July presents a message that it's wise not to make a decision impulsively. Sit with the idea, okay? You don't have to. I know you like to know where you stand, and I know you like to kind of get things done and plan. Maybe this month, it's about just sitting back and watching and observing. Because what is serving you this month is that Hangman, and it's clarified by the Queen of Swords, okay? So there is something that needs to shift from the mental body into the emotional body. When we spend enough time looking at things from all angles and connect and finding out like the purpose of why we do things, you know, what is the intention behind all of our efforts in our life, whether it's like relationships, our health, our work, our sense of spirituality. What is the actual deeper meaning behind that all? And it feels to me like this month, if you sit back and observe and try and see things from different angles, that's going to connect you more to the heart space, which is a lot more reliable than the head space, particularly because your head space is so like bombarded with thoughts and, you know, it's too much. Also, the other thing that's not helping is the energies of the moment, you know, be it chemtrails, you know, the solar flares. I saw recently there's evidence coming to light about nanotechnology being put into, you know, vaccinations for COVID. All of this stuff is causing confusion with people, where you can't really kind of, your thought is so distracted all the time by multiple thoughts. It's really, really hard to kind of know where you stand. So what's serving you the month of July is to take your time out, right? Observe, see what's happening, and then shift back into the heart space, because that's going to be a lot more reliable and clearer, okay? Now the challenge is the Four of Pentacles clarified by the Devil. The Devil energy is an energy that we all go through, so don't worry about it, right? It is just a challenge. It doesn't mean that this is not going to stop all your dreams and aspirations. The Devil energy is simply toxic energy. It is a form of energy that when it becomes too much, it becomes toxic, right? Everything in moderation is good. Devil energy basically says that energy is taken to the extreme, and now it's actually trapping you. So what's trapping you here and keeping you a little bit stuck is either a commitment or an attachment to somebody or something that represents your finances or your sense of security, right? That's the thing that's not serving you at the moment. Now, no, it may be a challenge to kind of like hold your horses and kind of not do any spending and kind of gather your intel about where you either financially stand or where your sense of security lies. But it's very important as well to be as fluid as you can with that, and not to allow yourself to be trapped or stuck thinking that that's only the way you can feel secure. That's in a sense why this is coming up as well in the desire. Your need to know the answer. Sometimes we have to wait and see, right? As infuriating as it is, I'm a Taurus, so I always like to know where I stand, right? But sometimes we just have to give ourselves credit that we'll know what to do when the time comes. So any sort of challenge that you'll be facing is pretty much going to be relative to, you know, what you invest with versus what you get out. And I can only get my sense of security or my sense of luxury or stability based on this particular route, this particular avenue, whether that's a person, a job, an idea, you know, a government, you know, if you're a senior citizen, and you're basing on the pension. It's all of that sort of stuff. These are going to be presenting the challenges to you. Now, the outcome of the month is beautiful. So you do end that tough cycle. We've got some lovely news that's coming in with the Page of Swords, and it's clarified by the Two of Cups. So basically, you're going to have a lovely open heart-to-heart with somebody, okay? This comes from a place of love. This comes from a place of understanding. This comes from a place of where you had kept your cards close to your chest. Now you are opening up and you're speaking from the heart. Now, this doesn't mean to say that another person will be will go with you on your next journey, on your next chapter. But what it definitely means, they may do, but what it definitely means is there is an understanding. So communication comes in, right? Communication is absolutely important for you. And the more that you can just be open and speak from the heart, you give permission for another person to do that. Because we all generally have good intentions, right? But sometimes we don't know the complexities of situations. Now, the Two of Cups can also signify, love. For some of you, this doesn't seem like a massive love reading, but it could sometimes talk about kind of that soulmate energy. If you've had, if maybe new love is coming in, or perhaps if you're in an existing relationship, that it felt a little bit, attachment, like too much. This shows me that the outcome of the month is an open communication, and it feels a lot more softer in energy, okay? For others of you where you're not kind of resonating with this idea of relationships, because love also talks about family and friends, work colleagues, all types of relationships. But for some of you, this could also be connecting with your higher self. For those of you who are really kind of well on your spiritual path and doing all your kind of spiritual practices, this could be communication coming in from your higher self. And remember, the higher self is always in the alignment of love. So that's when it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, it means that you're off the alignment of your higher self. So ultimately, we have a very prosperous outcome for you, particularly with the Queen of Swords. I was talking about the Queen of Wands. Queen of Cups. Queen of Swords is talking about being open. This was clarified by the Hanged Man. I may have said the Queen of Cups, but I was getting the energy as well, right? Queen of Swords is talking about what's serving you is being open and your authentic self and just being honest. So I would say communication is very important for you this month. A decision does not need to be made immediately, okay? You need to wait until that settles into the heart before you can make an informed decision. And the outcome of the month brings a big sigh of relief. So I do like that for you. Let us get a message from Spirit. Oh, yeah. See what you need to know from Spirit. Capricorn. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? Okay, so all the work that you're doing is actually putting you in a position of power and leadership. Okay, you're becoming the guide. You're doing your own internal work so that you can show the way, light the way for others. Okay, so even though you may be feeling like challenges to do with attachments, challenges to do with needing to know what the future is going to, unfold, this is kind of your spiritual learning this month. How can you kind of be in the present, not necessarily know what happens in the future, but still work with honesty, with integrity, and recognize that there are areas in your life that do not need to be addressed right now, and other areas of your life where you can see, if you spend some time, you don't act, you spend some time observing, you see where there could be kind of little toxic spirals or ancestral kind of chains that have kept you in a particular limited way of thinking. Okay, so you are being called this month to lead by example, right? And that's a very powerful month for you, Capricorn. So I wish you all the best. Of course, if you want to watch more of these readings, do subscribe, comment, share, all of that stuff. Give me a like, that helps. For the rest of the month, enjoy it, take your time, don't rush ahead, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.